What's up, everybody? I want to tell you about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's one of the easiest ways to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting Anchor on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download Anchor, the app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. And, you know, I'm a veteran, so let's hear some more military cadences. What's up, everybody? We back, and I have been trying to do homework before I play these stories. I gotta trigger warn you tonight. I don't know if it's just more sick people in the world or what, but it's some wild stories today, so brace yourself. The only reason I would tell it because it needs to be told, because it's just so, yeah, just letting you know some of these story times you might want to skip by. Let's get into what is going on with the news. More than 400 food products across the states have been recalled over the concerns of potential listeria. So that's sandwiches, snacks, fruit, you name it. Be on the lookout. Let's see. A pair accused of selling pills that made their way to the hands of students aged 13 to 17 from 3 suburban schools and led to 3 deaths and 6 overdoses. They have found the pair of people. That Adventureland that killed an 11-year-old boy back in 2021 is reopened in Iowa for all you crazy people that want to try to get on that again. Let's see what else is going on. San Antonio Zoo is going viral for the return of its annual Cry Me a Cockroach fundraiser, which allows donors to name a cockroach, rodent, or vegetable to be fed to one of the zoo's animals. They get more and more creative with Valentine's Day and everything. So if you have an ex or somebody that you want to see an animal eat, I mean, hey, it's good marketing scheme, I guess. What else is going on? There's a few things going on, but I have a ton of story time, because these story times get crazier and crazier. So Entertainment Tonight drops the footage of Cardi B yelling backstage, "Both of y'all wrong. This is not right." So what they were saying is that Offset and Quavo got into an altercation backstage at the Grammys. Offset denied those claims. ET dropped the audio of the alleged aftermath, and you can hear Cardi B screaming.
Stage, ET's cameras caught this blow up from presenter Cardi B. So, what went down? It appears tensions boiled over between the remaining members of Migos, Cardi's husband Offset and his cousin Quavo.
I heard you back here settling some stuff.
The only thing I settled was my outfit, honey.
Backstage, ET's cameras caught...
Yeah, I know Cardi. She ain't gonna snitch on herself, but she will come out of character. So Offset had said they weren't arguing, but Cardi's big mouth kind of dropped it. So who knows? I hope they heal from that. That is still sad that the Migos broke up over something petty, and just sad. And if they don't remain talking after this, it's kind of like that relationship wasn't as close as they thought. Oklahoma judge rules ban on marijuana users owning guns is unconstitutional. So the Supreme Court new standard on evaluating gun laws in Oklahoma judge has ruled that denying marijuana users the right to possess firearms is unconstitutional. So all you guys that were banned, you're back. You're back. Let's see. What else we want to talk about besides the same old mess? Airplane fights. So George Santos is in trouble again. He was a former prospective staffer to George. So this guy is accusing Santos of harassing him. He was prospecting getting hired by him, and he has revealed that the guy pretty much tried to come onto him. Derek Myers said he has filed a police report and House Ethics complaint against Santos after he made unwanted sexual advances towards him on January 25th in the congressman's office. He also says he was later denied the job. Myers claims Santos touched his groin and invited him to his home while his husband was out of town. Myers says he turned down Santos and left the office. 5 days later, he claims Santos started questioning his paperwork and his past. As a reporter, Myers added that this job offer was withdrawn on February 1st, even though he had begun working there voluntarily. There is no corroborating evidence whatsoever, Myers said, about his alleged encounter with a congressman. It's simply going to be his word against mine. Myers has alleged in his complaint that he began to work for Santos before he was formally registered as a staff member. So there's just so many things about Santos right now that it's kind of like, I don't know. How long are they going to hold on to this guy for real? Let's be BFFR. Let's see if I want to talk about any more news or get into these crazy stories, because I have, like I said, a lot of them. So Syria and Turkey and Syria had an earthquake. So it unfortunately a lot of people, more than 4,300 people have been killed and thousands injured after a magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck Turkey. So keep those people in your prayers. AMC Theaters is changing its ticket prices. What? Will it be the price of a car? Because it's already expensive. The price of the ticket would now be based on seat location. Any seats in the front will be cheaper, while more desirable seats in the middle cost more. These people already know it's just going to go up because I am a middle seat person. And I don't agree with that, because it should just be freaking first come, first serve. That's not even mess with AMC for real. Let's see what else. Alien Gonzalez, remember this guy? He was like the kid, the Cuban boy whose custody battle once. That's when news was just so normal, like that he was talked about forever. But he was a Cuban boy whose custody battle once led to a Cold War showdown. Has been nominated to serve in the island's National Assembly, the Communist Party Daily said. The newspaper referred to Gonzalez, now 29, as representing the most worthy of the Cuban youth. Gonzalez's nomination all but secures his post in the 400-seat National Assembly. Under Cuban law, municipal assemblies nominate single candidates. So he's running for Congress. So this is the story in the follow-up because it's been so long. So on Thanksgiving Day in 1999, Gonzalez, then 6 years old, shot to fame after he was rescued from the Florida Straits. His mother Elizabeth and 9 other people who were taking part in the clandestine journey drowned after their rickety boat capsized in the seas while they tried to make their way from Cuba to the United States. Gonzalez's survival seemed miraculous, and distant relatives to Miami, supported by the anti-Castro exile community, vowed to keep him in the U.S. Back in Cuba, Eileen's father, Juan Miguel, fought to bring the boy home. Cold War politics soon dominated the fight over custody as Cuban leader Fidel Castro led massive demonstrations on the island demanding his return. The case became a flashpoint in an already boiling feud between supporters and opponents. Eileen's Miami relatives argued if the boy went to Cuba, he would become brainwashed trophy of Castro. As the two sides fought out the high-profile case, U.S. immigration decided to put Eileen in the custody of his father, who had traveled to the United States to press for his return. Eileen's relatives in Miami refused to hand him over, and nighttime raid, armed federal agents stormed the home of his uncle and seized the boy. Rioting broke out in Miami as in the Cuban American community reacted angrily to federal agents taking the boy. Eileen was reunited with his father and following more court proceedings, ending with Supreme Court rejecting the Miami relatives' efforts to bring him back. Father and son flew home to Cuba. For a few years to follow, he was surrounded by government bodyguards and said that later they became some of the best friends. So he seems to be happy and thriving in Cuba. Obviously, he's running for office, but I just remember this being a very big to-do, like very big. That's when news was normal. It's kind of wild. 1999. That was a long time ago, but not so long ago. What's new? Southwest and FedEx jets came into a 100-foot collision at airport in Texas. These freaking fly zones are getting crazier and crazier. Buffalo, New York had a 3.8 magnitude earthquake. And that is about it, man. That I'm gonna, because we can go all night with this news. When I take my social media break, which is coming up on February 22nd, the news will not be so because I won't have these crazy stories. So it's going to be a lot more. We'll see. I don't know what kind of news I'm going to give you guys, but it's going to be something because we're going to talk. But I just want to be on social media because everybody needs a social media break, and my brain definitely needs one. So let's get into these stories, man. Let's go. Oh, Tom Brady posted this risque photo on OnlyFans if you guys want to check him out. Tom is, he's into it. I think I'm going to save the story that's bad for last just because I don't want to start it off. Let's start about stinky coochies, stinky poom poom, stinky, you know what. And I just like the way this girl puts it in her British accent. So let's get into it.
It is basically where you get it stinks. It's like the literal term for it. Like when people say that girls have fishy fanny, it's funny because like it actually comes from men. It's the fact that you're bacteria and you're not washing your willy properly, and then you're giving it to other people. But it's not an STD. It's not classed as an STD. It's literally just like it fucking stinks. It's horrible. But like it's when your alkaline doesn't mix with the acid. So pussy is acidic and alkaline is the dick. And then when your dick cheese reaches my fucking cervix, it just creates a whirlpool of like, get that shit out. So wash underneath your foreskin and over it, boys. And then don't complain if she gets a fishy fanny because you've got a dirty penis.
The way she put that fishy fanny dick cheese. Listen, wash your willy, like she said. Wash your willy. Ladies, make sure that willy is washed before you just be putting that thing in there. and mostly practice safe sex. But if you see a girl with a case of the fishy Fanny, it's coming from y'all. So clean those balls, clean that dick cheese. I like saying that. It's terrible. Let's go.
If the state is profiting off of child support?
Correct. And in most states, the Judicial Retirement Fund is funded from this money. So the more child support that's issued from the family courts, the larger the judicial retirement. It's a massive program. It's the size of the largest defense programs. So the incentives are absolutely huge.
These freaking greedy states.
A massive crack in the ground that's estimated to be up to 50 feet deep has opened up in Kenya seemingly overnight. The crack stretches along Kenya's Great Rift Valley, and many scientists believe it could end up splitting the continent apart. Deborah Pata is tracking developments from Johannesburg, South Africa.
Imagine waking up one morning to find a massive crack running through your home. That's what happened to Elliot in Jaguna, forced to dismantle his house by hand before it was lost to the earth below. He lives in Mai Mahiu, part of the Great Rift Valley in Kenya, a region that has already provided a treasure trove of some of the most important archaeological finds in history. And this latest discovery is so significant, scientists predict it will be the fault line along which history is made once again as Africa splits into two continents.
So, sign of the times, creepy stuff.
911, what are you reporting? Hello? What's going on there? Okay, I'm gonna get help started to you. Hold on for me for just a second. Do you know the address that you're at, if I said it?
Well, the call goes on for at least 15 minutes with no audible words being heard, just those muffled screams that we heard there. During the call, the dispatcher keeps asking if the person calling is okay.
Just hang tight, okay? My partner's getting help started to you. Can you hear me? I'm not going to hang up until help is with you, okay?
So that story was about Che, and her husband had buried her alive. The only reason I even played it because it was a happy ending, because I'm trying to not get this stuff too crazy. So she was from Washington State. Her estranged husband stabbed and buried her in a murder attempt, and that was her 911 call. He was 53. He was denied bond. The detectives said they found the hole where he buried his wife 65 inches long, 30 inches wide, and 19 inches deep. There was loose dirt, duct tape, and hair consistent with the woman, they said, but there was no body. The wife, speaking to investigators in several interviews, said she escaped after her husband put her in a hole, placed a heavy tree on her, and threw dirt on her. In a hearing Wednesday, the judge approved the state's request that the Che get no bail. The declaration of probable cause laid out a really horrific situation in which the defendant dug a grave, placed his estranged wife in that grave, and told her that he was going to kill her after he had finally attacked her and kidnapped her from her home. State authorities previously named the wife when she was missing and said that she is 42 years old. According to authorities, the wife said she would return home from church on Sunday to find Che there. She said she sent the children away. She and Che talked about their pending divorce, but Che allegedly said he would rather kill her than give her his retirement money. Authorities noted that Fanny having a prior history of domestic violence. He allegedly tied her up in duct tape, eyes, sides, and ankles, as well as her hands behind her back, but she was able to call 911 using her Apple Watch and send an emergency alert to trusted contacts, including her eldest child, documents reportedly said. Though dispatch could not make out what was happening on the call, she was gagged. They did track the call location. Authorities arrived home. Che allegedly already left the home with the woman captive in his van. He also allegedly stabbed her in the chest with a small knife multiple times. In the meantime, State Patrol had endangered missing person advisory. Nonetheless, the wife was able to flee after the burial and wound up at home, where the residents called 911 and a responding Thurston deputies encountered her early morning. She said, "My husband is trying to kill me," she said in documents. A victim's advocate read a statement on her behalf. "Please no bail," she said. "I'm really afraid for my life. I just want to emphasize that I fear him so much he will kill me again if he is out. His public defender had asked for bail for $150,000, but they denied. So he got charged with first-degree attempted murder, first-degree kidnapping. But that's just wild and harrowing. And I think I need to get an Apple Watch, because I see a lot of people making calls from there, because my watch ain't doing nothing but counting calories. So I need to get it together, because these Apple Watches is calling the police. I need to get one for real.
Quit letting them take your tonsils. Quit letting them take your lymph nodes. Everybody getting their tonsils removed because they swollen. They're swollen because...
Okay, I don't know what he was saying on the rest of that, but I still got my tonsils. Keep hope alive.
Listen, people, stop telling your manager and HR your business. I am the union rep, as well as I cover return to works and work accommodation in my department. I am telling you, management and HR is not your friend. They literally are in bed together. And you see all those so-called friends that you are sharing your Facebook information with and you're having them come to your home? Stop it. They're telling lots of personal information to management about you. If you have a doctor's note that says you need to have an accommodation or you need to be off for a certain illness, and you're posting on Facebook or in social media that you're doing this and you're doing that, or you're telling your friends, or they come into your home and seeing that, stop it. HR and management and your work friends are not your friend. Keep your work and your personal life separate.
That is so true. Anybody I know from my job, I block them. Because no. We just co-workers. And if any of my co-workers are listening to this, immediately stop listening to this now. You've been warned.
Nuclear attack. Do leave your kids where they are at. Do leave your parents where they are at. Now, this is going to be one of the hardest decisions that you could ever make. First thing you're going to have to think about is timing. It will take 30 minutes, 45 minutes for Russia, North Korea to get a nuclear bomb here. That's not a lot of time to think. So you have to think, am I going to have time to go pick the kids up from school? Am I going to have time to get back from the school and get us inside? Because the number one safe thing to do whenever a nuclear bomb hits is to get inside of a strong building. Do you have time to pick them up, then get out of school, get in the car, you drive back to your location? You may have to leave them at school. That's why you need to know from the school your kids attend, is there a nuclear attack plan? Because right now, massively across the country, there's none in the schools. Now, if you're planning on staying in the house and you have all your windows shut, you still have to get the most inner part of your home. What we know is that there will be a bright flash from the nuclear bomb. There'll be a blast wave. We know that. We know there will be fallout, radiation. We know that the bomb will disrupt electronics. Electromagnetic pulse will disrupt the electronics. We know this. We know that the fire and the heat will destroy structures. So you have to make a decision. Do I leave them where they're at, or is it safer for me to get them back home? Wherever they're at, make sure there is a nuclear attack plan. Hardest decision of your life.
So I'm glad that I found this one, because I wanted to I know that y'all know I'm trying to prepare y'all for everything, so we need Apple Watch and we need some potassium iodine tablets. Go on Amazon and get you some. They're only $17. They're IOSAT potassium iodide tablets. Because listen, as crazy as this world is getting, and listen, man, just be prepared. I'm like about to build me a whole doomsday shelter, and I know that I do believe in the Lord, but I also believe that you should be prepared for whatever. So y'all might want to invest in some potassium, just saying, and go in the basement like the man said.
Oh yes, I'm definitely getting ready to get my class action lawsuit from Wells Fargo. Are you getting yours? I'm trying to tell y'all. Okay, so if you had any type of account with Wells Fargo, be it a personal loan, a auto loan, a mortgage, or any type of bank account that you have with Wells Fargo, they are in all kind of class action lawsuits. And the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau of the United States government filed a lawsuit against them, and they are giving $3.7 billion back to consumers. I want to talk to you about who serviced your mortgage between 2005 and 2018. It could have very well been Wells Fargo at some point. They were purchasing and selling mortgages left and right. So, anyway, follow my page for more information. Also, don't forget to follow me on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I pray that this is a blessing to you. Be blessed and covered. Bye-bye.
Y'all better look up these lawsuits. Anytime somebody's suing, I'm a part of it. Yahoo, I'm waiting on a dividend. They had a lawsuit. Whatever, I'm there. So, y'all, if y'all got Wells Fargo, look it up. Be a part of the lawsuit. Like she said, they could have been. They guilty.
Did you know that the shoes that we wear are probably the most detrimental thing to our physical and our emotional health? And I'm going to tell you why. Now, back in the day, we used to wear wooden or wool shoes because it would not interfere with our connection to the earth. And it wasn't until a short time ago that rubber shoes were introduced, and I believe this was done purposely by Big Pharma and the elites to intentionally sever the connection with us and the earth. Now, not a lot of people know this, but every single system in the entire human body that we can measure all goes back to normal when we are grounded. And being grounded simply means that we are connected to the earth through the soles of our feet. Think about it. All the electricity that we use works the most efficiently by being grounded to the earth. So why would we be any different? We are electrical beings. Now, what happens when we touch the earth is our body instantly saturates with electrons. And these electrons coat our red blood cells so they repel each other, which means the blood viscosity goes down. It's easier for the heart to pump blood. Then blood pressure goes down and all sorts of cardiovascular issues are resolved just by putting our feet on the ground. And this is just one benefit. There are thousands of studies that have shown that earthing reduces inflammation in the body, which is at the root of most diseases. It's also proven to increase your sleep cycle, reduce stress by balancing cortisol levels, and many more health benefits. This is why it always feels good to be outside with your bare feet on the ground. Now, I'm not saying that society should go shoeless. We're way past that point now, but I am saying that we need to be way more conscious of how much we are grounded. I'd say about 20 minutes a day will keep the doctor away. Peace and love.
For Vegas Bray, Wednesday's preliminary hearing was a 1-2 punch. First, there was her outburst.
I'm not going to go down for something I don't remember doing. I'm not going down for a murder that didn't even happen. I didn't know. I'm not going down for something I don't remember doing. And if people can't tell the story straight, this is probably why I'm here in the first place.
Bray was reacting to testimony. She faces 50 years to life if convicted of shooting and killing her ex-boyfriend, Victor Saucedo, last year. Prosecutors say the 24-year-old had stalked and harassed Saucedo after they broke up in 2011, even throwing paint on his front door. They'll try to prove her obsession turned deadly on October 16th, when they claim she shot him 6 times, then reloaded and shot him 3 more times. The second blow to her case on Wednesday came from her own brother. He testified Bray confessed to him over the phone the day of the murder.
I called her again, and she picked up, and she told me what had happened.
What'd she tell you?
And she killed her boyfriend.
What words did she use?
Just like that. She's like, I shot him.
Even with that testimony, the case is now on hold.
I found out that he did cheat on me.
After Bray's outburst, the judge postponed the preliminary hearing until June so Bray could undergo a psychiatric evaluation to determine whether she's mentally fit to stand trial. In Chula Vista, Chris Murphy, 10 News.
Y'all gotta start letting these people go. Y'all willing to throw away y'all whole life for these people? I just don't understand. And your own brother testifying against you? Not good, sis. Not good.
Run. Don't walk out of California. Folks who live in California, let me ask you a serious question. That storm that just passed through, that flooded everything on the coast from Sacramento to LA, How much damage do you think this next storm, that's 3 times the size of the first one, is going to do? Or how about the storm behind it, that's twice the size of that one? California is about to be hit by the equivalent of a Category 3 hurricane that's half the size of the entire United States. The famed arc flood that scientists say happens every 150 years? It's here, folks. This is only the beginning. Whether or not this is weather manipulation, climate change, or the magnetic pole shift of the Earth, based on everything I've seen, California is not going to exist. At least not in the way that it has. The weakening of the Earth's magnetic field is causing all of the groundwater deep inside the Earth. We're talking more water than all the oceans combined. All that water is being pulled up into...
Y'all better stay woke.
What's up, Walmart shoppers? So, new technology is hitting the self-checkout at the Walmarts. It is a new sophisticated AI called Edgify. It might already be in your store, but it's EDGIFY. I actually went to their website. They have a little 2 to 3 minute video showing you how it works. The goal is to stop people from going through self-checkout, grabbing those king crab legs or that PlayStation 2, putting the new sticker on it from Raisins, okay, the $3 pack of Raisins on the $700 PlayStation, and you at the self-checkout scanning it as Raisins. It says the machine software will be able to see that you have a PlayStation, but you're scanning it as Raisins. So they are trying their best to stop the shrinkage at all their stores. Let me know if you work at Walmart. Have you seen this happen? And how about we just stop trying to be slick?
Can't even eat bananas.
I was today years old when I found out.
Hackers have figured out a way to hide secret malware inside public charging stations. So if you're at the airport, the mall, the hotel, you plug in your phone, all looks okay. But what's really happening? Secret spyware is infecting your phone. Today, you're about to watch a hacker do it with ease. It's called juice jacking. Your phone battery is dying. You need a charge. So you find the public charging station to juice up. Everything looks normal. Phone is charging, all good. What you don't see? Secret malware giving hackers full access to your phone. And you'd never know. So today, Brian is working on this charger right here, the kind of charger you'd find at any public charging station. And you're infecting this with malware, right?
Absolutely.
Spyware, so you can take control of people's phones. His victim today is me. He works fast, takes him only minutes to do it, and just like that, the charger is bugged. If I plug my phone into this to charge, it'll look like it's charging, but you can actually watch what I'm doing.
You could be anywhere on the planet, and I could rob you completely blind without leaving this chair, without putting on pants.
All right, so I'm going to go try this. I'm going to drive away from here. I'm going to try this, and you're saying you'll be able to see what I do when I plug this into this.
Shut the door on the way out.
I start browsing the web. And straight away, I go for a hacker's dream. All right, I'm in my bank now. And I will definitely be changing my passwords after this, like right after this. Let's go see Brian, see what he saw. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Did it work?
Absolutely.
What'd you get?
I have your wife's phone number, for starters.
What's her name?
Danielle.
What's her phone number?
Ends in...
That's correct. Okay.
You've emailed with someone named Deirdre,
my producer,
and I believe, I don't want to spoil a surprise, but your son might be getting a racetrack from Amazon. Does that sound about right?
Oh my God! So you were able to see that because I was looking at the picture right there. But then he tells me the scariest piece of private information of all.
I have your bank account number.
You have my bank account number. I did go on. Then he names my bank. Yeah. And my account number.
Ends in... I can read you back text messages from your wife, everybody you've ever texted, all your call history. Everything that's on your phone is now mine.
And just when I think he's done, it gets even creepier. So what are you doing?
Taking a picture from the camera.
You can remotely...
Yeah.
You just... all because I plugged in. Yep. But I'm not in the charger anymore.
It just took once to get infected.
And then it stays on it?
This is now mine. And I get to do whatever I want with it.
Guys, Don't open your bank accounts. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I don't even know, man. Just don't use the public charging stations, which we all do, right? When we go to the airport or wherever. But this is wild, man. And why don't hackers ever use their stuff for good? Like, it's never for good.
Don't ever use a self-checkout line. You know, I posted a video a few months ago regarding self-checkout lines, and it's garnered national attention. It's been quoted in several articles, on several news articles, regarding my take on self-checkout lines. I've even had loss prevention officers from other department stores email the firm regarding my video, and I'm going to double down on it. Don't ever use a self-checkout line. It's the easiest way for you to catch a theft charge.
Man, I don't really mess with them. I try to bug the workers anyway, and I'm just too lazy.
Where this guy, he was from Chicago. It was a homosexual on account. It was also from Chicago. He felt like that was his homeboy. He wanted him. You know, they didn't talk or they knew each other or something. But it was this guy from D.C. that had the homosexual, that had the boy that was, you know. So this guy was, you know, like I say, I was surviving. You know what I mean? Doing what I had to do to survive. So this guy, you know, wanted to pay me to get rid of this guy so that he can have the boy, had his homosexual. Yeah, that's what he gave me. A half-ounce reefer and bought me a pair of British Knight boots, in which I ain't never get the boots because I got locked up. But anyway, he didn't want me to get rid of the guy my way. My way was, you know, put the knife in my hand and go do what I got to do to him. Get him off the yard that way. If the administration felt like somebody was trying to kill you, they were going to get you off the yard, you know. But anyway, the guy gave me a lotion bottle full of paint thinner, put some newspaper in it, you know, and I sprayed it out, you know, cut it up toward it, you know, and the guy slept on the 300 tier. You know, those were single cells. So I slept down on the bottom floor, 8 tier, that was double man cell. So 5:30 that morning, when the officers pulled the levers that opened up all the cells, I just walked around on 200, then went up on the 300 tier. You know, this is 5:30 in the morning. As I approached the guy's cell, I lit the newspaper. On the State Farm, they got bars up on the, you know, on the cells. You know, these are jail bars. They not the prison doors that you got now, you know, in prison, the slider doors, and these were prison with a bars. And a lot of time guys would sleep with a padlock on the outside of their door. You know, because you had, first thing in the morning, you had guys coming, creeping in your cell, stealing your shit while you sleep. Or if you had enemies, you know, guys would creep up in there and stab you, beat you down with a lock or whatever. So a lot of time guys will sleep with a padlock on their door. And that's what the case with this guy. So when I walked past, you know, his cell, as I approached his cell, I lit the newspaper and walked past and tossed the lotion bottle full of paint, you know, in the cell. And immediately, you know, because I tossed it on the bed, and immediately his cell went up in flames. Doing this at the time, that was attempted murder. But at the time, I just wasn't thinking. But his cell went up in flames and everything. Man, I thank God, though, because the guy wasn't even in the cell. He was down there at Pier Call. So God was on that man's side, but he wasn't in the cell. He was downstairs in the basement. I thank God, you know what I mean, that it turned out that way, because, you know, now that, you know, after it happened, you know, I realized that, man, I tried to kill a guy. That was attempt murder. You know, I lasted on the yard after that incident right there about 2 weeks. You know, everybody started talking and my name started circulating, and, you know, somebody seen me up there and I got locked up for it. And that's what I stayed those 27 months in Sigfa. The guy's cell that I set on fire, I ran into him on Greenville. I was at medical. One night they just called me to medical, man. I hadn't put in to go to medical for nothing, you know. And it was about 8 o'clock that night. So while I'm sitting on it, you know, on a little thing, the little bench, letting the nurse check me out, she doing a little physical, kind of looked towards my right, you know, at the little window. And I see the guy standing outside the window. He got a lieutenant and a sergeant with him. And they looking at me. And I was like, man, whoa. You know, the moment I seen him, I already knew what it was, you know. And that feeling just came back to me, man. I can't get away from it. How lucky I was that he won't in the cell, you know. But at the same time, I'm like, man, he's snitching on me. You know, like I say, man, I was just doing little things like that to survive.
Don't ask me why I played this story during Black History Month, but I don't know. The headline caught me, the worst thing I did in prison after serving 31 years. But this man, I'm not going to say nothing about him, but y'all know it because it's Black History Month. All right, I'm going to get into this last story, and like I said, it is triggering, so if you don't want to hear it, don't listen. Let's just go.
As her 6-year-old son was repeatedly sexually assaulted in the back of a school bus in Aldine ISD.
Yeah, and we do want to warn you clearly, some of this may be hard to hear. Lauren Tallarica spoke with that mother and joins us from the district's transportation center. Lauren.
The allegations about what happened are incredibly disturbing. We spoke to the mother today and she was crying as she told us. Now, that said, we have chosen not to identify her to protect her family and that little boy. Right now, Aldine ISD police and CPS are investigating horrific allegations about what may have happened to a little boy as he rode to and from school.
This mother's child was raped over and over and over again for months on the back of one of these school buses.
Last week, the mother asked the school to investigate what she thought was a somewhat minor incident, her 6-year-old's backpack being thrown out the school bus window. Instead, once the onboard camera was reviewed, she says the school asked her to come in and was told video showed her son being sexually abused by another student.
We demand the immediate resignation of the supervisors of this bus phone.
Today, Quanell X and Dr. Candace Matthews with the new Black Panther Nation held a press conference alongside the mother and said investigators have gathered additional footage which shows the abuse going back months by at least one middle school student. Allegedly, mom says, luring him to the back, saying it was a game.
How is it that a 6-year-old is on the bus with a 13-year-old?
The district refused an interview, but in a statement said the incident involves, quote, 2 of our elementary age students, and that CPS was notified. I asked for clarification on the older boy's age, but never heard back. After the incident in question, mom said she did take her son to the hospital.
I don't want to get too graphic because it's that graphic, but there's internal damage.
Mentally, this mother says her son's just too young to understand what's happened, but she does.
Days of questioning, days of talking to my child, the details became more and more graphic each and every time. Inside, I'm dying.
Community advocates and this mother want bus aids to be put on all Aldine ISD buses. They also want camera footage to be viewed daily, and they want counseling to be offered to this little boy and his family. Now, as far as what's happened to the boy in question, we've gotten no answers there, and the mother says neither has she. Reporting from Northwest Houston, I'm Lauren Tallarica, KHOU 11 News.
So that story was just terrible, but you know, I chose to play it because so many of us have children, and you know, thank God they had this video footage, and thank God the mom even just looked into the backpack issue. I mean, the only thing I can stress is like talk to your kids constantly and know your kids. I know that seems easier said than done. Fortunately for me, my boys are all, I can always tell if something was off or wrong because I'm a smotherer. I did their laundry up until their teenage years, probably older, I'm ashamed to admit. But I very much seeing what's going on with my kids. And I know it's hard in a society where we have to work and do so many things, but it's just stuff like this. It should have been prevented. And I think if buses do have cameras, yes, that footage should be reviewed daily. I really hope that this can bring about change, because this is terrible. My heart hurts for that. My heart hurts for the kids that are going through this and nobody has said so. I hope that this will bring awareness. Please, talk to your kids, ask them about this, because this is important. This is something that, I know the bus is crazy. It is. But just please check in with your kids if you could. I think after this, every school should be reviewing their bus footage for real. I hate to end on that note, but that story just had to be told. Episode Fanny is signing off. You guys please be safe and please check on your children.